Right, so today we're working on our proprioception and coordination, so sort of understanding where the body is in space and time and sort of listening to its signals which trigger to help us maintain our balance and avoid injury. So I'll kind of explain that as we go through. But we're just going to start as we usually do. So feet are hip distance apart. Nice and long through the spine, so feel the head being pulled up towards the ceiling. Nice soft bend in the knees, shoulders are back and down, just resting the hands by the sides. So just finding our pelvic placement now. So tilting the pelvis forward, feel that arch through the lower back, bringing it back to center and tilting the pelvis backwards now. It's flattening through the lower back. Just mobilizing, taking it forwards and backwards, just starting to just activate the lower back a little bit, coming to rest in that midway point. So just remembering that neutral pelvis throughout the session today. And I apologize if you hear the drilling. Next door are doing some sort of maintenance. I think they're doing a rewire, so it's not so bad now, but it was pretty annoying earlier. Okay, so let's take a big inhale through the nose. As we exhale, just beginning to activate that core chamber, so pulling your tummy button in towards the spine, starting to activate those pelvic floor muscles. Inhale. Feel the rib cage expanding laterally as you exhale. The rib cage drops down, tummy button comes in towards the spine. Let's do a couple more breaths. Exhale, pull that tummy button in, keeping that length towards the spine. Shoulders are nice and relaxed. Last one now, big inhale. Filling the air, the lungs with air. Exhale, pulling that tummy button in towards the spine. So we're going to start just with some foot sway. So feeling the 3 points of contact in the feet, big toe, little toe, and heel. So trying to keep those in contact with the mat. So inhaling here, so exhale is going to shift our weight to one side. Just being mindful to keep the contact with the feet, keeping the pelvis level here. So just gently swaying from side to side, keeping it nice and slow. Let's take it once over the other side. Back to center. Exhale, taking it the other way. So you can stay here if you want to add a little bit more of a challenge. Bringing in those proprioceptors, we're going to close the eyes here. So exhale, let's take it over to the side with the eyes closed. Just being a bit more mindful of the movement, just feel those little muscles in the feet and in the ankles working. Inhale back to center, let's take it over to the side. Keeping the feet pushed down into the floor. Inhale back to center, exhale it over the other way. Inhale, coming to rest now in the middle. You can open the eyes again just to readjust. We're going to change the movement now. So we're going to do the same thing, but this time we're going forwards and backwards. So moving our weight onto the ball of the foot and the heel, but keeping those 3 points of contact with the mat. So inhaling here, exhale, let's take the body forward. So shifting the body weight over the feet. Inhale here. Exhale, let's take it back. So keeping those toes pushed down to the floor, quite a tricky movement. Exhale it forward. Inhale, bringing it back. Taking it back again now. If you're happy here, stay here. Otherwise, again, we're going to close the eyes. So exhale, shifting the weight forward. Really feeling the abdominals starting to work when you've got the eyes closed. You're a bit more conscious of what's happening. Exhale, taking it back. Inhale back to center. Let's do one more in each direction. Bring it back to center. Exhale, taking it back, keeping those toes pushed down into the mat. Inhale now back to center. Well done. Quite a tricky one to get us started. Now I'm going to raise the arms up in front of us, so just up to shoulder height. So again, just finding your neutral pelvis, finding your foundation in your feet. Inhale here. Just taking the arms out wide. So starting in this position. So exhale, we're going to bring the fingers together. So really lengthening through the arms, touching the fingers in front of us. Inhale, bring it back. Tilting the palms towards the ceiling. Exhale, we're going to take the arms overhead. So trying to touch the fingers together without looking up towards the hands. Back to center. Now we're going to take the hands behind us. So see if you can touch your fingers behind you. Bring it back to center, taking it forward again now. It's a nice and easy one to start with because we can see what we're doing. Taking it overhead, shoulder blades are pushed down the spine, so we want to keep the shoulders nice and neutral. Exhale, take it around to the back. Back to center. Let's do one more each way. So bringing it over to the front. Exhaling it overhead, really reaching through the fingers. Exhale, taking it behind now. Squeezing the shoulder blades together to bring the hands in contact. Bringing it back to center, just gently lowering the arms down. Give the shoulders a little bit of a rest, a little bit of a roll around. So we're going to start this time with the arms out in front of us. So working a bit more here on our coordination. I'm now going to take the arms overhead. So we're going to start with the arms up towards the ceiling. So lengthening through the spine, shoulder blades are pulled down the back. So starting with a little bit of balance. So take a big inhale. As you exhale, we're going to bring one arm and one knee down to the center. So down to that midline of the body. Inhale, bring it back to center. Let's shift it onto the other side. So balancing on that supporting foot. Just feel those 3 points of contact. Inhale it back up. Exhale, bring it back to center. So working on coordination here of our left and right side. Making it a bit more challenge with the balance as well. Keeping that tummy button in. So remember with every exhale, pulling that tummy button in towards the spine. Keeping that core connection as much as you can. Exhale. We'll do one more of these each side. Exhale, bring it up. Just coming up to hip height with the knee. Exhale. So keeping the arms overhead. Now if you need to just drop them, give them a shake, then you can. We're going to take it out to the side now. So one arm comes down to shoulder height, the opposite leg comes out to the side. So being mindful to keep the hips nice and level here. Bring it back to center. Exhale it over the other way. Inhaling it down. So all coming from the center here, all coming from the core. So keeping the tummy button pulled in, pelvic floor active, enables us to move the arm and leg sort of independently of each other while staying nice and upright, nice and stable, keeping those hips level. Exhale. So really reaching through the fingers as you come out here. Exhale. One more of these each side. Sliding that foot along the floor, squeezing those bums, bring it back to center. Last one, now really squeezing that bum out to the side, bring it down. We're staying here for one more movement. Again, if you want to just give the arms a shake, you can. So this time we're going to take one arm forward whilst the opposite leg comes behind us. So just slide behind us, so we're getting that straight line from the fingertip down to the toes. Bring it back to center. Take it over the other way, exhale. Inhale it up. Taking it the other way, now really reaching through the toes and the fingers. Bring it back to center. Take it the other way. Just a slight movement with the arm. Just find that nice diagonal line down the back of the body. Let's do one more each side. Back to center. Last one now. Really reaching through the fingers and the toe. Keeping the pelvis nice and central. Bring it back to center. Lowering the arms down now. Just give the shoulders a little bit of a roll around. Shaking the arms. Just doing what you need to do just to reset. So again, we're going to be challenging our balance, so sort of fitting two movements together. So coming to start in our neutral position. Inhale, we're going to come and just perch down. So just bending through the knee. Heels are still pushed down towards the floor. Tailbone is tucked under. So starting in our little chair sit position. As we exhale, we're going to come up to standing, rising up onto the toes. Inhale it back down. Inhaling back into that squat. Exhale, let's come up onto the toes. So just gently flowing now from a little squat position up into standing up onto our toes. If you want to add a little bit more, we're going to bring the arms out in front of us. As we dip down, one arm's going to come overhead, one arm comes down to the side. Back to center. Exhale, take it up. We'll change the arms into the opposite direction. Inhale, back to center. So inhaling to come down. Exhale to swap, come up onto the toes. Inhale down. So once you've got the hang of it, we can maybe speed it up a little bit. Just finding that flow from your seated position up onto standing, coming up onto the toes. Just find something to focus on, just to assist with your balance. Let's do one more each side. Up now onto the toes, really reaching up towards the ceiling, bringing it now to rest. Just coming back into our starting position. So doing a similar movement now. So we're going to go back into our chair sit, but we're adding a little bit of rotation to the spine. So inhaling here, so exhale, we're going to dip down, taking one arm overhead. Yeah, just rotating into that lifted arm. Inhale back to center. Exhale, take it over. So almost looking at your underarm. Back to center. Exhale. So try to keep the pelvis neutral here as well. So remembering those headlights on our hip bones. Trying to keep those pointed forward, just mobilizing through the middle back. Exhale. So really squeezing the air out as we come down. Filling the lungs back up as we come up. Exhale. Bring it back to center. Let's do one more. Last one on the opposite side. Bring it back to center, lowering the arms down. So one more movement in our chair sit. A little bit more challenging this one. So a little bit more to think about. So as we inhale, we're going to come and squat down. So we exhale, we're going to roll onto the toes and push up into standing. Inhale it back down. Exhale, pushing up onto the toes, coming back onto standing. So almost like a cycling movement with the legs. So really pulling in those abdominals, keeping the core nice and active to keep the upper body in that neutral position. So just rolling through the ankles and through the knees here. Let's do two more. Exhale. Pulling back up towards the ceiling, remembering that balloon, coming to rest now. There's the drilling. I really do apologise if that's annoying you, because it's annoying me a lot. Okay. So coming into our split stance now. So again, challenging our balance and also starting to work on our proprioception. So inhaling here, as we exhale, we're going to shift the weight onto the front leg, bring the bottom leg up either to here, or if you can, bringing it up to kick the bum. So sort of being mindful of what this leg is doing because we can't see it. Inhale, bring it back. Exhale, let's do that again. So foot kind of lift slightly off the floor, bringing it up towards the bum. Inhale it down. Exhale, let's do it again. So shifting the weight onto that front leg, coming nice and long through the spine as we move that back leg. Let's do three more, then we'll switch to the other side. Exhale. That's two. So nice controlled movements, really thinking about maintaining our balance here. Last one, exhale. Bring it back to center, so swapping the legs now into the opposite position. So taking the opposite leg forward, feet are still hip distance apart here. Just finding those points of contact with the front foot. Inhaling, exhale, let's shift that weight onto the front leg. Bring that knee up behind us. Back to center. Exhale. So again, finding something to focus on here to assist with your balance if you need to. So really finding a nice strong foundation through that front foot. The upper body stays in that neutral position. Let's do 3 more. Back to center. Exhale, so pushing up through that front leg. Trying to bring the foot in contact with the bum. Exhale. Last one. Bring it back. Well done. Okay. Just need a little bit of water. Bear with me. Okay. So we're going to start again from our neutral position. So lots going on in this standing position today, just because it could have warranted a little bit more in terms of our balance. So hands can be on the hips, they can be prayer position, they can be out in front of you, wherever you want them to be to help you balance. So inhaling here, exhale, we're going to take 1 foot behind us, just coming to a little bit of a dip. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, bring it down. So keeping that tailbone tucked under, so just working here through our hip extensors, so into the glute muscles. So trying to place that foot sort of at hip distance. So keeping that single plane of movement without actually being able to see the foot. So thinking about what that back foot is doing as we drop it down. Exhale. Take it back 1 more time. We'll do 1 more set. Taking it back, bringing that knee down as far as you can. So really bringing some flexion into the ankle. Exhale. Back to center. That's fabulous. We're going to do a couple more movements in this position. So again, standing feet hip distance apart. Take a big inhale. As we exhale, we're going to take 1 foot behind and just go into a little curtsy. So we want the front foot to stay in contact with the mat. So big toe, little toe, and heel in contact with the mat. Let's take it the other way. Dipping down through the knees, nice and long through the spine. Exhale, take it down. So just shifting the weight from side to side, again, because you can't see that back leg. Just having to be a little bit more mindful about what it's up to. So knowing where that foot is in space and time enables you to take it behind you and maintain your balance. That's developing our proprioceptive skills. Exhale. Let's do 1 more each side. Bring it down, so get a little bit deeper with this one. Bring it back to center. Shaking it out. We're going to come and stand on one end of our mats. So we need a little bit of space as we're going to go on a little journey. We're going to travel with this one. So same sort of sequence with the arms as we were doing earlier. So taking a big inhale. As we exhale, we're going to step to the side. So we're going to come into a sumo squat, taking the opposite arm overhead. As we inhale, we're going to bring the feet together. Exhale, take the opposite arm overhead. Coming back to center. Can we do a third? Exhale. Bringing it back. So let's take it back over the other way. So remembering to keep that tailbone tucked under as we move. Inhale here. Exhale, let's take 1 foot out. Take the opposite arm overhead. Exhale. Try and get a little bit deeper with each one. Keeping that tailbone tucked under. Working through those spine extensors to keep us upright. Let's go the opposite way. Exhale. So trying to keep the ankles, the heels pushed down into the mat as we come into our squat. Just bring a little bit of length into the back of the leg. Exhale. Lost my way now. Exhale. Bring it back to center. Last one. Bring it up. Fabulous. Bring the feet together. Give your legs a little bit of a shake. Just do what you need to do just to reset yourself. Okay, we're now going to come and kneel down. So we're coming into a high kneeling position. So not a position we do a great deal with in Pilates, but we would have to mix it up for you today. So let's just find our pelvic placement. So arching through the lower back, flattening that lower back, just coming into that midway point. So just feeling that contact between the tops of the feet and the mat. So they're going to be your anchor, so they're going to be nice and active in this movement. Again, hands can be on the hips in a prayer position or out in front of you. Quite a challenging movement this, but there's not a lot going on, but it's quite difficult to kind of get to grips with. So take an inhale here. So keeping a straight line from the knee up to the shoulder, we're going to hinge backwards. So just coming into that slight hinge in the knee. So you'll feel your abdominals, your quads starting to activate. So that's your body sort of saying, you've gone too far, bring it back. Exhale. Bring it back to center. It's a really good one here for working the core as well. Bringing it back. Let's do one more of those. Let's see if we can just hold it here for a couple of breaths. 3, 2, 1. Inhale it back to center. Come and sit down onto the heels. Just stretch it out in front of you. Just give the lower back and the quads a little bit of a release. Taking a few breaths. Okay. Coming up now into our quad position, so our 4-point kneeling position. So we want that nice right angle from the ankle, knee and hip. Nice and strong through the shoulders, so aligning the wrists with the shoulders. Again, just arching and lowering through the spine, just mobilizing the spine, dropping the tummy towards the floor as we exhale. Inhale as we come up, exhale, pushing the spine towards the ceiling, just coming to rest again in that neutral position. Imagining that tennis ball between the chin and the chest, so the head is just floating on top of the spine. We're going to start with our arms. Inhale, we're going to take the arm up to shoulder height. As we exhale, we're going to circle it round behind us. So just coming in line with the hip. Inhale, bring it back. Shifting the weight now onto that hand, taking the opposite arm up to shoulder height. Exhale, let's take it round. So again, just really working with your sense of what the arm is doing, because you can't really see it. So just working with your proprioception here. Exhale, let's circle it round. We'll do one more of those each side. Inhale up to shoulder height. Exhale, taking it round. So just trying to keep that sort of horizontal plane within the arm as it comes round. Inhale, exhale, taking it round. Just bringing the contact with the hip, gently bringing it back. So if you want to at any time just sit back on the heels and give the wrist a little bit of a rest, then you can do. We're going to do the same movement now with the legs. We're going to inhale it long. So exhale, we're going to circle it round to the side. Inhale back to centre. Quite a tough one, quite a big movement there for the hip. Take it over to the other side. Inhale. Exhale, circle it round. Inhale back to centre. Inhale it long. Exhale, taking it round. So the hips here will tilt in that natural counterbalance, but it's about engaging the abdominals, just kind of feeling where the movement takes you and using that feedback to keep control of it, if that makes sense. Exhale. Inhale, bring it round. Maybe that you can't get the leg all the way round. Just take it as far as you can whilst maintaining your balance. Quite sort of deep muscles that we don't use all that often, so it takes a little bit of practice. Bring it back to center. Last one. Bringing it round. Just sink back on the heels for a moment. We're going to go back into that position now and try to, if we can, piece it together. So working on our coordination at the same time. Bringing it back up now. If you find this is too challenging, then you can just stay with the arms or with the legs. Otherwise, we're going to inhale one arm out to shoulder height, extending one leg behind us. As we exhale, we're going to circle them round. Back to center. Inhale it long. Exhale, let's take it round. Let's just do 3 of these on each side. Inhale, taking it out. Exhale, slowly lengthening through the fingers and through the toes. I don't think I've quite got in crew to do this here, but I'm kind of getting there. Inhale. Inhale, take it long. Exhale it round. Inhale, back to center. Let's make this one our last one. Exhale. Brilliant stuff. Well done. Just come and sit back on the heels again. So stay in this position just for one more movement. Just give your wrist a little bit of a break for a moment. So let's come back into that 4-point kneeling position. I'm going to give you 2 options here. So everyone's going to start with their foot, their leg bent behind them. So we're coming into a right angle with the leg, foot is flexed, so the sole of the foot is in parallel to the ceiling. So again, keeping the hips level, so we don't want to push the hips over, we want to just keep that engagement within the abdominals. So layer 1, inhale here, as we exhale, I'm just going to lift one hand off the floor. Inhale it back. Just a little paw print there, or just gently coming onto the fingers, so just finding that balance. If you're feeling very adventurous, we're going to take that arm behind us as we did before. See if you can touch the foot. So working on your proprioception here. So see if you can get the foot and the hand together without being able to see it. Bring it back to center. So inhale the opposite foot towards the ceiling. Inhale again. So we're either just lifting one hand off the floor, otherwise we're going to bring the arm behind us. See if you can touch that foot. Bring it back to center. We'll just do one more of those each side. So raising the opposite leg, so coming into that right angle position, foot is flexed. Inhaling here, exhale, let's take the arm behind us or just do your paw print. Bringing it down. Last one. Inhale the foot up towards the ceiling. Exhale, we're paw printing with the hand or bringing it around to touch the foot. Bring it back to center. Bring everything back down now. We're going to come into our prone position, so coming to lie on our tummies. Oh, just take a little bit of a rest, because that was a challenging couple of movements. I think they're quite good ones because we're face down onto the floor, so really understanding where the body is and what it's up to. So just coming to rest in a neutral position to start with, just finding that pelvic placement. So again, just tilting the pelvis backwards and forwards, feel the contact between the pubic bone and the mat. Might move down a little bit more if I can. So inhale, I'm going to take the arms long overhead. So you've got nice length between from the fingers down to the toes. So really feel that extension through the back of the body. As we exhale, we're going to swing the arms behind us and see again if you can touch the fingers. So really squeezing the shoulder blades together. Otherwise, just come as far as you can. Just feel that nice activation through the shoulder blades. Inhale it back to center. Exhale. Inhale it down. So really emptying the lungs as you come up into that lifted position. If that's too much, you can just move the arms. Otherwise, we're lifting the head, neck and shoulders as well. So bringing an extension into the spine. Inhale. Exhale, bringing it up. Inhale. Exhale. Let's do one more. Reaching those fingers. Last one now. Can you touch the hands together? Inhale, bring it back. Lower it down. Just rest the head down for a moment. Just release the lower back. So we're going to start in the same position, so the arms are long. Take a big inhale. As you exhale, we're going to lift one arm and the opposite leg. So lengthening through the fingers and the toes, so really extending through the back of the body. Inhale it back to center. Exhale, let's lift. So as you lift, pushing the rib cage and the pelvis down into the floor. So keeping that core control, that control of the central part of the body. Exhale. Taking it the other way now. Really reaching to the opposite ends of the room. Really feel that length through the back of the body. Let's do one more each side. Exhale. Exhale it up. Gently resting it down, coming to move the hands under the head now, so resting the forehead on the back of the hands. We're going to bring a little bit more coordination into the movement. So as we inhale, just beginning to lift the head off the mat, so inhale here. As we exhale, we're going to kick both feet towards the bum. And we rest the legs down, the head comes to the side. So inhale, let's lift. Exhale, kick the bum. Inhale, bring it down. Inhale, lift the head. Exhale, kick both feet towards the bum. Inhale, bring the head down the opposite way. So this is our double leg kick. Inhale. Exhale, let's kick the bum. Inhale it down. Just gently rotating from side to side, so coordinating the movement of the head with the movement of the legs. And again, being able to think about what the feet are doing when we can't see them. We're trying to move them in that single plane. Let's do one more each side. Exhale. Inhale the head to the opposite side. Exhale, bringing it the other way. Well done. Okay, let's come and move on to our sides. Sit back onto the heels if you want. Initially, just release the lower back a little bit if you need to, because it's been in that extended state. So going to rest now on the side. You can prop yourself up onto your forearm. We're going to take the legs long. If it's too much, then you can take the bottom leg behind you, so bending the knee, so just providing a little bit of an anchor. Otherwise, the bottom leg is also long, lengthening through the waist, so pushing that top hip away from the ribcage. So we want this length here through the waist. Hand can be in front of you to start with. So just find that sort of balance here. Find that position where you're in control of the movement and don't feel that you're going to fall backwards or forwards. Okay, so we're going to start with the top arm rested on the thigh. So if you find it's too much and you're wobbling, then do take that bottom leg behind you. Inhaling here, as we exhale, we're going to lift the arm and the leg at the same time. So taking the arm overhead as we lift that leg, bring it back to center on the inhale. Exhale it up. Inhale back to center, so really working deep into the abdominals here to keep us upright, stop us falling forwards and backwards. Bring it back to center. Exhale. So coordinating here the leg and the arm, but also just thinking about what the arm is doing as it comes overhead. So we want to keep it in that single plane of movement. We don't want it coming forwards or backwards. Just bringing a little bit of mindful control, particularly to the arm. Let's do one more. Exhale. Really pointing the toes, lengthening through the fingers. Bring it back to center. Again, you can take that bottom leg behind you if you want to. Resting now on to your arm, or if you've got a little cushion or a block you want to use, you can do. So starting here, this time we're going to circle the arm overhead. So we're going to take it into a circular movement going backwards. So starting in the same position, as the arm comes overhead, the knee is going to come in towards the chest. Take the arm backwards, we're going to lengthen the leg again. So flexing through the foot, so really pushing away, feeling that length through the side of the waist. Inhale here, exhale, let's take it round. Inhale, push it away. Exhale. Inhale, push it away, keeping lifted up through the waist so the abdominals are still active here. Let's push it away. Let's do two more. Really bringing that knee up to the chest. Exhale to take it long. Last one. Feel that length through the leg. Gently bringing that hand down in front of you. Just give the leg a little bit of a rest for a moment. Coming back onto our forearm, so just propping the head up. Again, that bottom leg can be bent or it can be long. So inhale, we're just going to lift the top leg away from the bottom leg. Feel the abdominals active here. Top arm can be in front of you for a little bit of balance. So take a big inhale. As we inhale, we're swinging the leg forward. Exhale, we're going to swing it back. So feeling that activation in the glutes, trying to keep the foot in sort of the same distance away from the floor. So trying to keep that lift consistent. Inhale, bring it forward. Exhale, let's take it back. Really squeeze the bum. Feel the lower back working here as well. Exhale, taking it back. Let's do two more. Again, keeping lifted through the waist, lifted through the shoulder. Everything here is working together. Taking it back as we exhale. Bring the knees together. Give your bum a little bit of a rub if you need to. Before we flip onto our opposite side. Okay, so coming to prop yourself up onto your elbow again. Legs are long, all that bottom leg is bent behind you, lifted up through the waist, pushing that top hip down so the hips are stacked one on top of the other, nice and long through the waist. So starting with our top arm resting on our thigh. Inhale here as we exhale, let's lift that top leg, taking the arm overhead. Inhale it down. Exhale it up, so moving the arm and leg together, so nice coordination. Challenging our abdominals here as well, thinking about what the hand is doing as it comes overhead, so wanting it just to move in that single plane. Let's do two more. So lengthening through the fingers and the toe as we lift, so we always want to have that full engagement of the arms and the legs. Bring it back to center, lowering yourself down now onto your arm or onto a pillow if you need to. Just finding that stability, so taking the bottom leg behind you if you need to, pulling in through those abdominals, lifting up. So inhaling here. As we exhale, let's bring that arm overhead, knee comes in towards the chest, flexing that foot, pushing it all away as we inhale. Exhale. Inhale it round, so quite a gentle, slow movement here. So taking the time to really think about what the body is doing, because there's quite a lot going on here. Always coming back to that core. So keeping us central, we don't want to be falling backwards or forwards. Inhale, push it all away. Let's do 2 more. Inhaling it away. Bringing it up. Last one now, really pushing it away towards the opposite end of the room. Gently bringing the knees together. Give the bum a little bit of a shake. Okay, so coming again to prop yourself up onto your elbow. Bottom leg can be bent or straight again. So hand can be where you need it to be to help you balance. As we inhale in to bring that top leg forward, exhale, taking it back. So squeezing that bum, being mindful to keep the foot the same distance from the floor the whole way round. So really working into the outside of the thigh here. Keep that leg lifted. Inhale it forward. Exhale, let's take it back. Let's do 3 more. Lengthening through the toes. Feel that length of the leg, feel the whole weight of that leg. Exhale it back. Last one now, inhale. Exhaling it backwards, bringing those legs together. Give your thigh, your bum a nice bit of a rub. Give it a nice release. Coming now to sit up. So just adjusting to that change of position. So coming to find those sit bones in the bottom of the pelvis. So we want to keep those in contact with the mat. So finding that nice firm foundation for the spine. Taking one leg long. So pointing through the toes, feel the length through this lengthened leg. Hands can be just resting by the sides, just providing a little bit of an anchor for you. Opposite leg is bent, so pulling the foot in towards the hip. Inhaling here. And as we just sing a little song, so everyone remembers eeny, meeny, miny, mo. This is just a good way of kind of remembering the movement. So inhaling here, as we exhale, we're going to eeny, meeny, miny, mo. So we're taking the foot to opposite sides of the resting leg. Inhale again, exhale, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. So it's controlling the movement of that foot to stop it hitting the resting leg. Let's try that again. Inhale here, lengthen through the spine, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Let's take it back again for 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if you're happy there, you can stay there. Otherwise, we're going to add a little bit of challenge by closing the eyes and just see if you can manage that movement, kind of think about what the foot is doing and control that without having to look at it. So let's take a big inhale, close the eyes. Do exhale, let's go for 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. Let's go again for 1, 2, 3, 4. So using that rotation in the hip to really lift that foot over the other leg. Inhale here, let's do 1 more. 3, 2, 1. Big inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Opening the eyes, let's change the position of the legs. I hope you all managed that all right. Quite a fun little one just to test your own proprioception skills. So again, just finding that foundation in the pelvis, lengthen through the spine so feel that head being pulled up towards the ceiling. Bringing the opposite leg now towards the hip. Inhaling as we begin, let's do 2 with the eyes open. And then if you're feeling brave, we can do 2 more with the eyes closed. So let's take it out. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Inhale, eeny, meeny, miny, mo to bring it back. Let's do 1 more each way. Okay, so if you want to close the eyes, let's gently close the eyes now as you inhale. Exhale, let's take it out for 4. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale here. Let's do it again, taking the foot back towards the hip. Inhale. Let's do 1 more. That's 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Well done. Let's take the legs long. You can bring the feet in, the soles of the feet together if you want to. Just lean it forward. Just open out a little bit through the hips. Let's see how we're doing that all the time. Okay. So we're going to come and bend the knees. So again, coming onto the sit bones. So finding the pressure points, big toe, little toe and heel. Just finding a nice foundation for the movement. We're going to start with the arms out in front of us. So mobilising a little bit through the spine here, so we will be sort of C-curving through the spine. I know we do a lot of hinging, but we want to really activate each vertebra of the spine here. So let's start with the arms long, inhale. As we exhale, we're going to bring the arms in towards us, going into that C-curve, so allow the tummy to collapse in on itself. Then we're going to take the arms wide, so almost like a rowing position. Inhale here, exhale, let's bring the arms in. Bring them round as we inhale. Exhale. Bringing it round. So coordinating the curve of the spine with the movement of the arms. Keeping the feet active, so we want to keep the feet in contact with the mat. Exhale, collapsing through the tummy. Bring the arms round as you inhale. Let's do 2 more. Reaching through the arms, feel the length through the back of the arms. Exhale. Bringing it round, just folding forward now. Just releasing through the back and the backs of the legs. Gently coming to roll down onto your back. So if you can, sort of engaging that C-curve again. You can place the hands by the side of you if you need to. So just thinking about each vertebra individually, so starting with the sacrum and the coccyx at the very bottom of the spine. So exhale, we're just going to engage each vertebra at a time, just gently lowering each one down onto the mat. If you want hands behind you, then you can do. We're just using each vertebra individually, bringing you down into this lying position, so working quite deeply into the abdominals again. Okay, so we're going to start with our legs bent. So we want the feet to be hip distance apart. Find those 3 points of contact with the feet. Again, just tipping the pelvis forwards and backwards, coming to rest in that neutral position. Arms are rested by the sides. So as we prepare, big inhale. As we exhale, we're going to slide one leg away from us at the same time, taking the opposite arm overhead. So really lengthening through the body, but working on that diagonal, so working in opposition. Inhale it back to center. Exhale. So keeping the tummy button pulled in here, so as we bring the leg back, we don't want to arch through the spine. We want to keep that contact with the mat. Let's take it long. Inhale back to center. So just sliding that foot along the floor. You want to visualize maybe having a tennis ball under the foot. You just want to have it coming forwards and backwards, so we don't want to deviate with the leg, so just moving it in that single plane. Inhale. Let's take it the other way. Bringing it out back to center. Let's do 1 more each side. Feel that length through the arm and the leg. Last one on the opposite side. Bring it back to center. So we're going to do a similar movement, so similar to when we were lying on our side. So we're going to do our arm circles. So coordinating that with the legs, so a little bit trickier because they're both doing different movements. So starting again in the same position. So we exhale, we're going to take 1 leg long, taking both arms overhead this time, circling the arms round as we bring the leg back. So we'll bring them a little bit further forward because I'm hitting the wall. So exhale, the arms overhead, leg comes long, inhale back to center. Exhale. Bringing it round. Just try to get that full circumduction within the shoulder. Again, if you want to close the eyes, just get a little bit more feedback. Bring a bit more mindfulness to the movement than you can do. Just trying to get the leg and the arms to work together. Let's do 1 more each side. Exhale, keeping that contact again with the lower back and the mat. Exhale. Bringing it back to center, just resting the arms down by the side. Just taking a few breaths here. So you're going to lift the arms overhead, tilting the palms away from you, so towards the back of the room. I'm just going to drop the arms overhead, so just taking them down towards the floor, just opening out through the chest, just feeling that nice release through the shoulders. We're just beginning to breathe naturally now, so we're just coming to a few gentle stretches. Inhaling the arms back down. Exhale, let's take one knee in towards the chest, so just stretching out through those hip flexors. Take the opposite leg long if you want to. Just take a few breaths here, just allow the muscles to begin to reset. Lowering that leg down, let's take the other leg in towards the chest now. So be mindful not to hold onto the knee joint itself, just bring the hands a little bit further down onto the shin. Don't want to put any undue pressure onto the joints. Gently lowering that leg down as well. Let's bring the feet back up into a crook position, so knees are bent. Just going to walk the feet out towards the edge of the mat. Allow the knees to fall in towards each other, so getting that internal rotation within the hip. So allow the feet to relax. Take them a little bit wider once you get into that movement if you want to. Gently releasing, bringing the knees up, walking the feet back together. We're now going to take it the other way. So bringing the feet together, allow the knees to drop outwards. So external rotation of the hip here. Feel that nice stretch through the inside of the thighs. Inhaling it all back to center. We'll do our brief relaxation. So if you want to join me for that, then do get yourself comfortable. If you want a blanket or some socks or a jumper, do what you need to do. We'll just take 5 minutes or so just for some gentle relaxation for a Sunday. Set us up for the rest of the day. So just coming to lie in your restful position. Feeling the weight of the body on the mat beneath you. Just gently closing the eyes. Just bringing your awareness to the space around you. Just noticing any sounds, any sensations, just noticing them, just allowing them to be. Just noticing how the body feels after your practice today. Giving your brain a little bit of a workout as well as your body. So just taking this time to reset and relax. Just bringing your attention now to the breath. Gentle rise and fall of the chest or of the belly. Noticing how the breath moves down deeper into the belly as you begin to relax. Feeling the weight of the head and the shoulders on the surface beneath you. Just continuing to breathe. With the exhale, just allow the head and the shoulders to release and relax. Moving down towards the rib cage, and the arms. Just feeling their contact with the mat beneath you, just feeling their weight. Just allowing the surface beneath you to take the weight as you exhale. Feeling the weight of the hips and the thighs now. Just noticing all those muscles, all those points of contact. As you exhale, just allowing any tension or discomfort to melt away. Just noticing the weight of the lower legs and of the feet. Just allowing the knees and the ankles to relax. Just feel a gentle softening of the muscles, the heaviness of the legs as you exhale. Just taking a couple of moments just to let go of any remaining tension. Just taking these moments for yourself. Just coming back now to the breath. Beginning to breathe a little bit deeper. Beginning to fill the lungs up with fresh oxygen. Beginning to nourish the muscles. Just gently starting to wiggle the fingers and the toes. Maybe moving the neck, moving the head from side to side. Gently opening the eyes, coming back into the space around you. Gently coming back up to seated. When you're ready, in your own time. Just coming into a seated position, we're going to clasp the hands in front of us. Let's turn the palms towards me. Just push away, just Rounding through the upper back. Inhale, release. Exhale, we're going to push the arms overhead, so lengthening through the spine. Gently releasing the arms down. Well done, you've all worked really hard today. There were some tricky movements in there, but I hope it's been useful, particularly proprioception, which we don't think about all that often, but it's really important in terms of our balance and our mobility overall. So I hope you found some useful things to take away from today, and